So YouTube loves to see screw ups and fumbles and follies. So you're gonna like this video, guys. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the storm, because it is storming out there. You'll probably hear thunder at some point during this vlog. I just woke up and I'm starting on this blossom footage. So let's dig into it and see where it goes. Where the story left off, Chris Dewey and I had went for tacos for lunch after a fabulous morning of flying Little Black and decided we would go over to Blossom for the evening. It was a brutal hike. I think it was worse than the one at Little Black. Going for another hike up another mountain. This is Blossom. I see a paraglider up there. I guess that'll show up as a speck. Yeah, it was tough, but I made it. I guess a fat Louisiana man can do the mountains of San Diego area after all, with his big ass race harness. So we are standing on top of Blossom, fixing to launch it. I've only ever seen it in videos. I've got the site briefing. I think I know what's going on. Conditions are moderate. Pilot report was there's still a bit of thermal punch out there, so we're ready for that. Not gonna hurt it. That wing will be fine. Yeah, I can give you an assist. Remember this moment right here. It's gonna come back later in the story. Yeah, you're clear. We'll scooch it. It looks like it went over some of your lines there. There we go. No rush. Just do what you do. Good moves.
Get away from your wing now.
Oh, you're all right. Enjoy your flight. You know, the whole point of the trip out here to San Diego was to really get a good grasp on flying this Ozone Zeno and XR7 race harness. You know, you got to pick your conditions. I was stepping up. Well, I had never had the opportunity to fly this glider in strong conditions. By the time we got to Blossom, it was strong. 10, 12, gusting 15, if I was gonna guess, which is normally not the biggest deal for me. I can handle 15-mile-an-hour winds all day on my old gear. But the new stuff was a little more high performance and I was making some fumbles. Yeah, let's just watch this video. I'll show you what's going on. Oh man, high wind launches. It's always a mess. You got the wing all snuffleupagus. Can't see which way the lines are twisted. Lovely, great. Oh, give it back. Let's beat it up on launch, why don't we? I just want to point out that I'm not even clipped in here. I'm holding this glider, just hand kiting it in these strong conditions. In fact, before we go any further, let's just stop and have a talk about everything that's going to go on in this video, and then we'll watch the video. If you want to skip ahead, I'll put the time down there that you need to click to. But first, just hear me out for a few minutes. I got schooled up there and I made the no-go decision after clipping in and doing some fumbling around in the high wind. Granted, I've not had the opportunity yet to practice with this glider in high wind conditions. When I got there to the mountain, I realized, it was not above my level of previous flying, but on this particular gear, it was the most wind I had experienced. And I didn't have a chance to test it on a bunny hill anywhere and to get comfortable doing it. The basic gist of it is I was getting plucked because I ignored a basic fundamental that I learned years and years ago on day number 1 is when you do a reverse inflation, bend your knees. I think I was stiff-legging it. I think that I've developed this bad habit over the years, whether it be from motoring all the time or doing majority forward low wind launches. Somehow I developed this terrible habit of stiff-legging my reverse inflations. And apparently I've been getting away with it because the majority of my recent when I say recent, within the last year or two, have been somewhat, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, they looked good. They felt good. I didn't get plucked off the ground. And that was the first comment that was made to me when I inquired with someone who had been flying the Zeno. I said, you know, anything I need to know about it? They said, yeah, in high wind, you'll get plucked. I put that to memory, and so I considered that, but until you get out there and experience it, it's something that you just, you know, it's something you have to experience. Hopefully, you don't experience in a boulder-filled launch like Blossom, like I did, which I was paying attention to the conditions. I was watching if I was to get plucked, you know, all I had was some carpet and stuff. I know how to kill the wing, and it's not like I'm gonna get dragged. What I did not anticipate was my foot getting caught in my stinking pod again. That's twice on this trip that my foot has gotten tangled in the pod. And in this case, when I got snatched, I don't remember which foot it was. I don't have a B-cam set up. One of my legs got hung up in the harness, and I was one-legging it. And that was the reason that I kind of fell down that first time, sort of lost control in it. In this clip right here, I was one-legging it, so I didn't really have the stability. I believe if I had been able to keep both legs down, very likely could have salvaged this. But I'm glad it happened. It was a learning moment. It made me take a step back and say, I tried again. I tried and tried and tried. And I was by myself, and the only way to learn to deal with these things is to go out there and practice. And that's what I viewed this as a practice session. I was hoping that I could do it a little more, I'm digging for that word again, a little more gracefulness, perhaps. I wanted to be a little more graceful on my learning attempts. But I couldn't figure it out in the moment. I don't know if it was because I was hot or tired from hiking up the mountain. I don't know if my brain wasn't firing. I felt good. I was sober. I'd been flying. You know, everything was lining up for, you know, a good session. I couldn't do it, and it got stronger. The longer I fiddled with it, the stronger it got. And it came to a point where Chris Dewey had landed, and he actually banged in his landing because it was so strong. You could probably see it in the clip here. He something happened. His reserve got pulled out of his harness. He went down with enough force that his handle got snagged on something, and it deployed his reserve. It didn't open up, but it knocked it out of his harness, so we had to reinstall that so that he could safely fly that evening. But I ended up flying. Everything was good. You know what? I'm just going to let it play. I'm just going to let you observe the video as I filmed it. This is what you got. Try not to drift back behind you and ridge like that. My brake toggles came off. Okay, there's the leading edge of this one. Okay, stop it. Stop it. Let's see, what are we looking at here? Complete mess. Lovely. Whoa. Maybe I can see it from this perspective. You think? Okay, here's the tip. Give it back, give it back, give it back. Oh, Lord. What a freaking mess. How does it work? Gosh damn. So what you're about to see in this clip is about 2 minutes of heavy breathing with some interdispersed curse words. If you have sensitive ears, perhaps you should just turn the volume off. Now remember that the pod that I'm wearing on my back is probably right around 40 pounds. And you see Chris landing in the background down there. He's having real trouble penetrating, it looks like. I don't even know that I'm watching him. I'm just kind of making sure that everything's good. I'm playing with this wing. I've never had it in high winds, so I want to see how it kites, how the controls work. Before I try an inflation, I'm fumbling around here, and what happens is I was trying to get it to kind of fan out, like build my wall, and it accidentally shot up. I had an inflation, like an unintentional inflation right here. Pulls up, I'm not square with the wind, everything gets janky, I get fumbled around, wing goes nose down. Now, I've got control of the wing still, it's not dragging me anywhere. So there's a trick though, if you ever go nose down, there's a way that you can kite this thing back around. First, you got to get it squared up in the wind. Now, this is like reverse kiting. But see, there's the trick right there. You flip it back over on its back, and everything's good. Dragging it back into the position. I'm sure the fabric loved that drag across the launch there. But there was carpet, so even though there's some dirt around, I do have carpet. Now, what's happening here, I have 2 accidental inflations in a row. I'm trying to get square with the wind. It pops up here. I get control of it, pull it back down. Still don't like it. I pull it up here again by accident, but this is where I get tangled and I trip and I fall.
Fucking shit.
And the trick here is just to control the glider. Even if you're on your feet, on your back, laying in the dirt, control the glider. That's rule number 1.
Oh. It needed a little dirt on it anyway. Man, I got plucked and my foot went inside my harness and I couldn't get it out. I was getting dragged. I was like, gosh damn it. What is wrong with this thing now? Oh. Yeah.
It's honking. I got plucked. I got put back behind the ridge again after getting tightened back into shape.
Uh-oh.
When I fell down, I reserved deployed.
Oh. So you got a reserve out.
Yeah. I lost a bunch of rubber bands. That's all it is right now is rubber bands.
All right, I'm gonna wait for a small lull. Look at that mess.
I'm gonna put it together for you when you're ready.
Okay.
Where do you want me to help you put it together?
Well, if I could just get a little air in it. If you can pull a tip out, look at the back, right toward me. There's a knot. The wing's still a bunch of lines. Right there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think that may do it.
It's really windy.
Yeah. I can't run at the wing fast enough to get it. Yeah, I got a huge cravat over here. There it is.
When I walk away, it's gonna catch air.
I know. And it's gonna pull hard. Woo!
Hard top land here when it's this windy.
I know, that's why I'm thinking. There's a lull in it, I'll take that. It's on your shirt. I see it hung on your jacket. There it is. Hold on, let me grab the right lines here. Of course it's coming back now. Yeah, there's a gust. Every time I think okay, another one comes in.
You're pretty dang strong. You snagged the carpet.
Oh, right down in front of me, okay. Oh, that one. Okay, I didn't even see that one. I'm just waiting on my moment to strike. This thing just pulls so hard.
Well, it generates like way more lift.
Well, it's got me gun shy now, Chris.
I mean, it's what you came here to do.
I know. I just don't want to screw up.
Well, I already fucked myself, so it's probably not a good idea if you screw yourself over.
No, I don't want to.
Up to you now.
I'm waiting for my moment. Come on back down. There you go. I got it. Oh shit. That just makes it fly backwards. Two-liners are weird, dude.
Yeah, well, it's really windy right now.
I know. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, I'm gonna wait. It would be the right choice.
There we go.
All right. But it was a huge learning moment for me. I really struggled with it mentally as far as what am I doing? And I went back and I reviewed, and that's as simple as it was. The remedy to the whole situation was bend my knees so much that my butt is almost on the ground. When you're in that inflation, when you're pulling the wing up, and you get it to that point where the tips pop out and that thing starts pulling, that Zeno will pluck you right off your feet if you're stiff legging it. Now, if your butt's almost on the ground, it plucks you onto your feet. So there's this much difference. You know, the few launches that I got away with stiff legging it, I was on my tippy toes at the, you know, when the wing came up, I got snatched. I kind of managed to hold a tippy toe down onto the ground, and I was able to turn around. There's two launches here that are pretty ugly. One of them is an attempt. I got plucked, tripped, fumbled around, aborted the launch completely. Got to give the video credit to the PPG Bob Father for this one here. Thanks, Bob. Now, this was after the winds had settled down, but they were still strong enough to take me right off my feet. Watch how fast this happens. Boom, and I'm snatched, and that's how you skin a knee on the mountain, right there. The next one, I salvaged the launch. I was able to keep a tippy toe on the ground. I pulled the glider up, it went right. I was turning the glider back toward me, and at the same time, I had to unwind. So I had to look at
away from the direction of travel, but I knew there was nothing over there, and as soon as my eyes connected on my glide path, I could see that I was going to be clear of, like, the biggest fear here is smacking into a rock on a swing. So as soon as I looked over my shoulder and I was able to see that I was clear, I knew it was going to be kind of a wonky sideways launch, but I had it. And as soon as my eyes connected with my glide path, I knew what to do, and I just unwound and I spun into the path of the wing, and I just took off on the hill. It was ugly. I rated about a 2 as far as launches goes. I was never super out of control. There was just the moment after I got plucked, when I was reconnecting with the glider and getting everything back on axis, that I lost a minor bit of control. So as ugly as it was the last part of it was what I wanted to happen. So I just wanted to explain what you're seeing there.
Again, I got to give Bob credit for the video. He didn't get quite the very first part of it, but he did manage to get the end of it.
There you go. Oh, you're on. Whatever works. Look at that thing. That is a beautiful wing. Kylo is off, and he's up and flying in the Zeno. Crazy launch, but he made it. Other than that, it was beautiful. Blossom Valley is beautiful. Everything was in bloom. It was really nice. I loved it. We flew it several times. Yeah, let's enjoy the video together. Let's watch what happened here. So I had the squirreliest launch I've had since the first time I launched a paraglider. It was ugly as sin. Just a terrible launch. It's high wind. I really need to spend some time high wind kiting this wing on some good grassy slope area. Medium velocity wind, no big deal. But this thing plucks so hard on the inflation. It is ridiculous. I don't know if there's a trick or whatever, but I gotta get some practice in. I look like a fool out there with this thing in high wind. That's what my old instructor told me. He said, Kyle, in high wind, this thing's gonna pluck you. He says, it just will do it. I believe him. Yeah, these boys did some lift. I'm gonna turn with them. 6 mile an hour ground speed. Watching a California sunset from the paraglider. I can think of worse things to do. I'm running out of car space though. I'm gonna cut this thing here and save it for the landing mat. All right, I'm gonna go for a little top landing approach practice. I want to be kind of back with this glider. I'm deep in the brakes. I'm looking at my glide slope. Oh my gosh, it's just ridiculous. Glide slope is ridiculous. Don't want to stall it either. I mean, I can top land it. Huh. No, I missed it. Good run though. All right, top landing approach number, this is like number 4. Actually touched down that time.
What I didn't even pay attention to was this glider here, who happens to be Robert. He actually was the one who brought it to my attention. He apologized for waking me later. I didn't even see it coming. I'm usually pretty good about catching wakes, but I missed this one altogether. I'm standing there kiting and his wake just folded my wing. Watch this.
See if I can kite this dude off the edge here. Whoa. Whoa. That sucked. It fell right down on top of me. Oh my Lord. Wow. That was a different move. Oh, it was wonderful. I wouldn't give my launch the highest marks, but the little box there. Oh, your flight deck. Okay.
Expensive too. Like this whole setup was like $350.
Wow. That's about what I got in the Udi here. Not necessarily a bad instrument. You know, technology's just steadily going up though. It's really nice. We're in a good time. I bet they said that 20 years ago.
Do you remember when I told you to remember this image with these sunglasses going on? Well, I flew the entire evening away. It was a beautiful evening. I took some photos of everybody soaring around. Just a spectacular glass off evening. I guess you got 4 options here. There's top landing at the main launch, there's the bailout, then there's the hairpin, which is like your last chance, and that's like down the hill, you have to walk up the road back to launch. And there's the hayfield, way on down in the valley, far away from the people right there. And if you land there, it's pretty much like hitchhiking back around the mountain. I wanted to land on top, and as it was getting dark, a problem cropped up. With the glasses, it's just a human physiology thing. You lose your depth perception, your ability to see depth when you take light away. That is a well-known fact in aviation, something that comes up quite often. Back home here in the flatlands, it is not such a big deal because everything is relatively flat. So you can look out and more or less gauge your height to the ground by looking out. But when you're in mountainous terrain and things have contour and texture and slope, it really messes with you, especially if you're unfamiliar with the site and not as schooled in making those approaches to top landings and everything. And again, new gear. There's a lot of factors here, but I misjudged my altitude. I was going to swing it in and top land, and I sort of stuffed it. I was about 4 or 5 feet lower. Oops. I was about 4 or 5 feet lower than what I thought I saw that I was. And it was just purely a depth perception thing. And I knew the instant I took off my glasses. I mean, you forget you're wearing glasses sometimes. It was a minor mistake. It was a hard landing. There was nothing brutal about it. I just kind of plopped it in and fell over. I think I even giggled when it happened.
All right, game on. I'm gonna try to hit the bailout down here. See what happens. We're gonna see. It got dark and now it's starting to get cold. Brr. Whoa. Yeah, I'm good. That was ugly as sin.
Sorry about the Pulp Fiction type video, but I didn't want to just fill up my memory cards because I only had so many and I had several days left of flying on this trip. I wanted to record some stuff to make a video about. At the same time, I don't even know what kind of video I'm making when I'm actually filming it. I'm just out there flying around doing my thing, and I like to share the things that happen. This was a big step in the 2-liner progression. This day for me was nice because I was able to go back and take the video and review it and look at what I was doing wrong. And that was huge. If you can do that, do it. If you're trying to learn something with these sports, whether it be motoring or mountain flying or kiting, anything, if you can video yourself from a third-party perspective and look at what you're doing kind of from an outside view, you can go back and review that footage, and it really gives you an insight as to what to do whenever you're out there in the world trying to do these things. You think, oh, that's right, in the video I was screwing up doing this, and it gives you more of a conscious decision to do it correctly. The big folly that I had here, I probably said it a while ago, was not sitting down. I was not bending my knees aggressively on the inflation. When that wing pops out, man, it snatches so hard. If you're squatted down on the ground, it snatches you right up on your feet nicely. And I figured this out at Torrey. We went to Torrey the next day. It was scheduled to be stronger again in the forecast. I want to take a step back. Obviously, fumbling on the mountain is not a good decision. It was a poor decision, but I didn't know it was a poor decision until it was made. So it's one of those things, hindsight's 20/20. If the worst injury was a minor scrape on my knee, then I'm happy with that. If it was a worse spot or bigger conditions, I probably would have made the decision to wait. It was in conditions that I've flown regularly in the past without any issue. I felt comfortable trying it. I left my pride right there. learned what I needed to learn. Happy to share it with you guys. Learning to fly these high performance gliders it's a big step. It's a big step. I wonder if stepping off into this day was too big of a step. I made the right decision to abort earlier, but as it settled down, I managed to scrape out a launch. I wish I could have reviewed the video in between launches. That would have been helpful. Overall, that was a good day of learning. I learned a lot this day. I spent some time on the grass at Torrey, doing what I needed to do, dialing in my spot landings. Got in trouble. That's coming. If you've not seen Robert Michael's video, he's got some of the other side of the scenes of this footage from his perspective. So I'll put a link to his video below here, and you can kind of see what the video he made of the same day flying at the same time. He's got some cool footage from his perspective of the things that happened in this video here. I hope you check out his channel. It's pretty good quality too. Yeah, his family put up with me for several days. Yeah, real hospitality going on out there in Southern California. Can't speak how highly I thought of everyone that helped me out, helped me along, offered rides, places to stay, or meals, or anything. So hey, much love. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. That's all I got. I didn't do, I'll tell you what, I'll show you the Phil's barbecue after this video. That was fun. If you're not eating at Phil's, I'll throw a plug in for that. It was quite exciting. It got the Kylo stamp of approval, and I even went back. Took his whole family out there. That's one of their favorite places to go. And so I took Robert and his whole family out there to enjoy some barbecue on old Kylo for, just paying some dues, paying some rent for them putting up with me for the days that I was there. Like I said, hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna cut it here, and it'll be like smooth flying from here on out. So obviously those videos won't get the hits or the likes or the clicks, but I hope you like this one. Much love, everybody. Safe flights, and I hope to see you soon. Kyle out.
We'll have a line.
Grab me some, sir.
You want knife too?
Yeah, why not? Look what I got. I got supper. This is gonna put me in a straight coma. Oh yeah, camera up. Robert got the California weed special. Phil's Barbecue has the Kylo stamp of approval. Should go here if you have one nearby. It's good barbecue, for real.